Hello everybody and welcome back. Today, it's time we finish this round of short videos regarding Despair Time with my rankings of the cast. Now, I did do a tier list before, just before Xander's attack, so for this list, I'll be mentioning the drop or rise of each character on this tier list, and I plan on doing the same in the future tier lists. Before we begin, I just want to remind everyone, if you haven't watched previous tier lists of mine, if a character has been named and has an official sprite, I count them in my rankings, regardless of how relevant or not they are. As a result, we're starting with number 18, Mai Akasaki. This unnamed ultimate student is quite intriguing. In the official episodes, she has only appeared in Teruko's memories. We only see more of her in the special episodes with Min and Xander, and some appearances in music videos. So it's kind of hard to really place her higher simply because she has very little screen time to justify that position. I'm sure that once we see more of her, which I am pretty sure we will, I will place her higher, but until then, this is where she lands. We're now at number 17, and for a moment I was contemplating as to which main character I dislike between the two usual suspects. And then I realized, if you're a regular here, you know who I'm talking about, I know who I'm talking about, even the character on this spot knows who I'm talking about. Nico Hakobian is by far my least favorite character on this show. In fact, I would put them below Mai if I didn't feel bad doing so. At least Nico has lots of screen time, so I can judge them properly. Nico has been my least favorite character from the start, and I don't really think that's going to change anytime soon. Nico is kind of an asshole. Like, a lot of the time, they will say some rude comments and just get away with it. I don't want to go too in-depth as to why I don't like Nico, I just think that for the things they've done, especially during Chapter 2, they should have some kind of repercussions. I mean, they did lie to multiple people, attempted to kill Ace, and planned to kill everyone here because Ace fought back when Nico insulted him? Like, what? Yeah, no. I know Nico apologizes during the end of the trial, but it was really quiet and Ace didn't hear it. Not that it would change anything, but yeah, I wanted to mention it so Nico fans don't hunt me down in the comments later. Dropping 3 spots, we have Jing at number 16. I'm sure this isn't surprising for most of you either. Hu was never my favorite character to begin with. Partially because she didn't have a lot of screen time, but also because when she was on screen, she was usually scolding someone else. So naturally, when she started crashing out in the second trial, she had to drop even more down the list. I think the worst part is her defending Nico despite knowing that they fully intended for her to take the fall for their crime. Like, I get you wanting to stand up for the little guys, but Nico was planning to kill everyone and put the blame on you. How stupid must you be to still defend them? What's worse, Nico didn't even thank her for this either, they just gave her more attitude, so yeah, until Hu locks in, she'll be keeping Nico company. Only one character in C tier, that being Monotivi. Dropping 3 spots as well, Monotivi lands at number 15. If you've seen other rankings of mine, you'll know by now that I don't like mascot characters. I find them annoying. Monotivi isn't as bad, which is why he's not in the D tier. I was entertained by some of his jokes on multiple occasions, so for mascot standards, he's okay. Also, I didn't say this in the beginning, my voice is a bit rough, you know, a bit sore, so apologies about that. We're moving on to B tier now. Min Zhong sees a small rise, climbing 1 spot over to number 14. While it may seem like a small upgrade, I appreciate Min's character a lot more. The bonus episodes definitely helped. I was so confused when I was seeing people calling her their favorite, but after the bonus episode, I understand why that is. While her talent still makes little sense to me, and I find the whole trial one stupid in many ways, I was happy to see that Min wasn't as proud of her title as she came off in the main story. We started off on the wrong foot, Min, but now it's all good. Only reason why she's so low is, well, because I enjoyed her character in those 20 minutes we got. There's no more Min content dropping, and I like others more. Dropping 5 spots, I have Arturo Giles at number 13. Why did Arturo drop? Do I like him less after Chapter 2? No. I still like Arturo, it's just that he's not very relevant to the story. Yes, for a moment there in the trial, he was a suspect and he did threaten to kill Eden, but yeah, I don't know, even though I like the fancy voice I've headcanoned for him, it's not enough for me to put him higher. Maybe in the next chapter we'll get to see more of him and I like him more. We're ending the B tier with the biggest drop on the tier list. You see, this used to be my second favorite character, but now they rank number 12. J. Rosales has been irrelevant. She may have morals which I appreciate, and she's probably one of the characters I agree with the most in the cast, but the truth is, she barely got to do anything this chapter. I think Arturo being stuck to her constantly is the cause, which is unfortunate, because I like both of them, and they were in my top 10 originally. But when you do nothing, it's kind of hard for me to place you any higher. I'm hoping she becomes more story important soon, or at least give her more screen time, something, I don't know. Starting the A tier, we have Veronika Grebeshnikova, who saw a drop of 2 ranks, landing in number 11, barely not making it to the top 10. Again, it's not that I don't like her for putting her this low, it's just she hasn't done much. This is the sad reality of fangans at our shows, at least for me. A lot of the characters just won't have much screen time most of the time. And since this isn't a game where I can go out of my way to go interact with these characters and do their free time events, we have cases like this. I think Veronika is a very interesting character, one that I've heard people say is the mastermind even, but until she gets more time to shine, she'll have to stay here. Hoping for chapter 3. Ari Nagaishi manages to land herself the top 10 spot, dropping 3 spots in the process. I'm sure after we see her bonus episode this ranking will change, though I did enjoy her character more. When we first saw her backstory I was a bit iffy, but the more I watched chapter 2, the more I grew to like her character. Only reason she lost her previous ranking is because I liked other characters a lot more. Who knows, depending on what we see in the upcoming bonus episode, she might pass the next 2 people on this list. It's a bit sad to say this, but my former favorite character is now the number 9. Levi Fontana has fallen 8 ranks, and honestly, I'm not super happy about it, but it's the sad truth. I'll be honest, what killed the hype on quotation marks about Levi is his reveal in the trial. I knew he was some kind of thug before becoming an ultimate, that much was obvious, but the lack of empathy, him going around killing people and not giving a fuck, I don't vibe with that, sorry. In my mind, Levi was someone with a fucked up past, something happened that made him want to change and put his past behind. But that's not the case. Instead, it's a more selfish story. Instead of using force to get what he wants, he tries to be more civil in hopes of getting people to do what he wants in a more peaceful way. Sure, that's better, but still, it's hard for me to call Levi my favorite after this. Maybe he can have some mild character development that'll make me like him more again, but right now, Levi's stocks have suffered a heavy blow. Xander Matthews has climbed 2 ranks, landing in top 10. I find it very funny how I made the last tier list 1 episode before Xander's betrayal. He was already a pretty decent character, but I appreciated him a lot more after what happened between him and Terrico. It differentiated him from the usual friendly and stupid side products. I like how despite him liking Terrico, he was willing to kill her to save the others. The same applies for another character later on. I think the time that Xander got is enough. He may not have achieved his goal, but at least he tried. I'm on the belief that Terrico is the mastermind after all, and honestly, Xander's attack felt so unique for DR standards. We have never seen the MC almost being the victim for the murder case, especially from the hands of who we assumed would be the side product. Rose Lacroix lost her former top 5 rank, now placing 7th at the top of the A tier. I think Rose got a decent amount of screen time, so it's not that she's suffering from the same case as Jay, Veronika and Arturo, it's more like I just like the other characters a lot more. I'm curious about Rose's future development, as she doesn't seem to be doing very well mentally. I honestly thought at first that she'd be the most okay out of everyone here, but yeah, having photographic memory in this situation would definitely fuck you up, if you're not used to it. I'd like to see Rose get better, but I'm afraid that won't happen. We are starting the S tier with one of the few people to keep their rank. Whit Young remains my 6th favorite from this cast. I think he's such a solid character. Yes, he makes a lot of jokes, but he can also get serious if needed. I really like how he's a great friend too, backing up a lot of his classmates during the events of the first 2 chapters. I love his dynamic with Charles and Terrico too. He's not just the comic relief guy, and that's what I like the most. There's more to his character. I can also respect the fact that he's willing to apologize and make amends with others if his jokes go too far. Not many people can do that. We have made it to top 5. Who are my 5 favorite characters? Let's start with someone that climbed 9 whole ranks. Someone that, if you've seen my earlier reactions of this series, you know how I feel about. David Cheam has done something few characters could achieve. If you go back to the VA reveal reaction, you see I didn't like this guy one bit. In fact, I thought he was the mastermind. Yet he climbed all the way to the 5th spot from his previous 14th seat. Why? Cause I like the actual David a lot more. I'm the type of guy who likes characters who are more open with how they truly are. David was trying too much to appear friendly and trustworthy, and that bugged me too much. The real David is a lot more fun, and I look forward to seeing him getting more screen time as the antagonist of the show. I do like that he seems to have taken Xander's words at heart, and that he'll probably try to kill Tereko in his stead. Hell, I made an entire video about the guy the other day. Are you surprised to see him this high? The top 4 is the last character to have kept their position throughout the whole series, and that's none other than Ace Markey himself. Ace is such a good character, I am not surprised as a fan favorite. I've said it in past tier list videos, but I like loud characters. I like how he's so ready to throw hands despite being afraid of so many things. His dynamic with Levi is great too, and I hope we'll see more of it in the next 3-time events video, whenever that happens. Honestly, I can't help but feel bad about Ace and the way he was treated during the show, especially in the second trial. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I think Ace dying in Chapter 2 was the right move. I think, as a character, his story ending here is as good as it is. Thanks to his personality, he always had enough presence in the story, so he doesn't need more screen time. Yes, we're going to see him once more, at the very least, during his bonus episode, but that'll be all, and I think that's perfect. I'm of the belief that characters should be killed regardless of how popular they are, if it makes sense for the story. You may not like the outcome, but this was the creator's choice, and you should respect it. There aren't many characters left, huh? Number 3, with a rise of a whole 8 spots, we have the main girl, Tereko Tawaki. Look at us. Look how far we've come. No more bowling jokes now. While I wasn't the biggest fan of Tereko initially, the first trial is what solidified her as a top-tier protagonist for me. She is possibly the most understandable crash out in the project thus far, having to defend herself against a trial of morons right after being backstabbed by a friend. Tereko's character development feels natural, and I like that a lot. I do think she's overdoing it a little bit in the second chapter near the end, and I'm hoping that after almost dying, she'll mellow down a little bit. Sass is good, just with moderation. I do think she's the mastermind, just doesn't remember it, so I guess we'll see how that goes. But so far, out of the projects I have checked out, I can safely say that Tereko is my favorite main character, better than Daemon or Hiraki. And now, for someone that did the unthinkable, something Nico and Who wished they could do. A complete 180. Eden Tobisa climbs 14 ranks, placing now as my second favorite character and my favorite girl from the cast. Truly an unexpected turn of events, I must say. Until the first trial, Eden was my least favorite girl, barely beating Nico in the tier list. But when she stood up for Tereko in the first trial, I started respecting her more as a character. And Chapter 2 gave her lots of screen time, to the point where, if you've seen my reactions of the second trial, I was hoping that Ace was the killer so that Eden would live. If this isn't character development, I don't know what is. Eden is just a good friend, and sometimes having a pleasant character around can be refreshing. Well, I think you all know who my favorite character is now. There's only one left after all. Previously, my top 3rd character, Charles Suevas, if that's how you say his name, is my favorite character of danganronpa and despairtime. I'm not sure exactly what I should say about Charles. I like his personality, being serious yet goofy at the same time. His interactions with Wit and Tereko are golden too. I'm very happy he was more relevant in Chapter 2, cause in the first one he was kinda there. Still, I liked him from the start. I hope he'll be the side protagonist moving forward, but we shall see. Oh, another piece of Astra lore. While my favorite character design is usually people in suits, people in lab coats is a close second or third, so that's a bonus. You should be able to see my full tier list now. These are my rankings of despairtime's cast thus far. I'll probably update it whenever Chapter 3 comes around, though I did see that we're probably not going to get that anytime soon, which is unfortunate. Of course, that means that this is probably going to be my last despairtime video for now, unless I get any other ideas for theories, of course. But that'll be all for today. What do you guys think of this list? Do you agree? And who's your favorite character? Let me know in the comments below, but until the next video, take care and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.